Where the vote counters and the Geiger counters were part of the same campaign, some of the speeches sound like this.
It is not unlikely for some of the radioactive dust to be blown by the wind blowing from the Sahara to the northern parts of Nigeria and other northern parts of West Africa.
If freedom and fallout were planks in a platform, if the battle for men's minds was waged by jungle drums and whistle-stop helicopters, then this was all part of a chain reaction that extends from Lincoln to Einstein and has moved its testing ground to Africa.
In the words of one of the greatest men produced by the world, we have been waging this struggle with charity for all, with malice towards none.
The first half brought to you by Bell & Howell, creators of a fabulous new world of zoom photography. With zoom movie cameras, zoom, slide, and movie projectors for home and classroom. Find the products through imagination. This is the story of an election. A portrait of the people caught up in the freedom explosion sweeping the continent. Our report begins with Eric Severide on election night. But our cameras will take you back to the 6 turbulent weeks of the political campaign as the 3 major parties fought it out for leadership.
The conquest of Africa is underway again, this time by Africans. The brown Africans of the north are already free, with Sudan, Egypt, Libya, Tunisia, Morocco, and Algeria on the way. Now colonialism is crumbling in black Africa. Ghana and Guinea are free, and Nigeria stands on the eve of freedom. Nigeria is the most populous country in all Africa, some 36 million people. It's the biggest remaining piece of the British Empire to go. It will be the largest independent black nation in all the world. That is our story. I'm Eric Severide. I'm reporting tonight on film from the temporary CBS election headquarters here at the racetrack in Lagos, the federal capital of Nigeria. This is election day, and the returns are posted here at the track. The city is excited. A high percentage of 9 million registered voters have been casting their ballots today in 25,000 polling stations all over the country. Every government in the world is watching what is happening here today, but Nigerians are not thinking much about the rest of the world. This election concerns domestic matters. Nigeria is just above the equator. It's a country as big as Texas plus Oklahoma and Louisiana. Its coast used to be called the Slave Coast, the ancestral home of a great many American Negroes. There are 3 regions or states, the north, the west, and the east, plus the federal capital district. Lagos, the federal capital, is where we are now. It was the original crown colony. Its streets swarm with about 400,000 people representing a great many of the tribes in the country. There are about 400 different tribes and other groupings, distinct groupings in this country, and they speak about 250 different languages. The tribal and regional hostilities are deep and strong. There are 312 seats in the federal parliament. That means 312 constituencies. The party with a clear majority, and that would be 157 at least, or with the highest total of seats after this vote, will be asked to try to form a government. The leader of that party would be asked. The campaign has gone on for months. It is as passionate, as accusatory, as the campaigns in the torchlight parade days of the Jacksonian era in America. In fact, in its style and its tone, the whole thing is much more American than anything British. This is a whistle-stop campaign rally, African style. The place, Dawakin Kudu, northern Nigeria. The time, 1 month before Election Day, as the campaign reached a fever pitch. Every device known to Tammany Hall or to a well-oiled political machine in Kansas or Massachusetts is used to reach the voters. Campaign buttons, slogans, speeches.
One significant thing about the symbol of the action group is that it symbolizes what you want and what I want. That is money.
The helicopter was the biggest gimmick of the campaign. There was much concern among the opposition. Would it capture the imagination of primitive tribal people and their vote as well, or would it be regarded with suspicion? Even the leaflets dropped from the sky were meant to impress the electorate with the godlike qualities of the candidate. How effective would it be? The voting would tell the story. Party leaders crisscrossed the country holding rallies everywhere. Campaign tours covered tens of thousands of miles and many more words. over African dirt and tarmac roads, through rainforest and upland savanna country, hitting every bush town and village on the way. The message went out by talking drums, by word of mouth,
Hospitals, adult education classes, schools, bridges, and roads are all built and made for your own benefit. And
in a country 80% illiterate, the printed word is not to be trusted. Every voter gets his chance to see his candidate. This is grassroots campaigning in the truest sense. And every local politician gets the blessing of the party boss.
All good! All good! All good! All good!
The rhetoric is bitter, abusive, violent, out of Andrew Jackson or give him Hell Truman. But like most political speeches, more bark than bite.
If you elect NTC and you elect national group, you are electing the stooges and the agents of the remnants of British imperialism.
Out of all the oratory, 36 million Nigerians debating party candidate issues. This election and its campaign is turning out to be the most potent educational force since the introduction of the first primary school not too many years ago. The lineup of forces in this political Donnybrook is complex, and with names that don't always fit on campaign buttons, you can't tell the players without a scorecard. These are the party wheels. In the north, Alhaji Sir Amadou Bello, the Sardauna of Sokoto, heads the Northern People's Congress. The Sardauna, meaning warlord, a traditional title among the Hausa Fulani Muslims of the north, is considered to be the most powerful man in all Nigeria, by virtue of his spiritual as well as political leadership over the largest region in area and population. He is not a candidate for political office himself, but he is a formidable power behind the throne, a combination Mark Hanna and Jim Farley. When we spoke with the Sardauna, this became evident. I'd like to ask you to make a prediction, sir. Who will be the next federal prime minister?
My party. Will I believe the man?
Yes?
The present prime minister. I'm returning him.
The present federal prime minister?
Yes. I made it known that I'm going to return him.
You are not a candidate yourself for the federal house.
No, I am not.
So you would not be federal prime minister?
Because I don't want to be.
Would you yourself accept appointment if given to you as Governor General?
I have nothing to do with that. I would rather live here amongst my own people and carry my traditional title than an imported one.
The Sardauna's hand-picked candidate for prime minister is Alhaji Abubakar Tafawa Balewa, a modest, soft-spoken former schoolmaster, one of Nigeria's most skillful statesmen.
I'm glad to see that in the last few years, the Americans are taking quite a lot of interest in Nigeria, and I hope that interest will continue.
Next, Chief Obafemi Awolowo, leader of the Action Group, the major party of the Yoruba people in the western region. He's popularly known as Awo. Put it this way.
The Northern People's Congress considers the North as its reserve, and and the leaders have done everything in their part to keep the so-called Southern parties out of the Northern region. But the Action Group decided to organize in the North, and we now have branches in every village and hamlet in the Northern region.
The third major candidate is Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe, head of the National Council of Nigeria and the Cameroon, a long-winded title for a political party. He is a veteran nationalist and a hater of colonialism. The flamboyant, American-educated journalist, sportsman, politician, has a devoted following among the Igbo people of the eastern region, and his popularity is spreading.
My good friend, the Prime Minister of the Federation, Alhaji Abubakar Tafawa Balewa, in his broadcast the other night, committed what I thought was a faux pas, which the Prime Minister should not commit.
When the cry goes up for Zeke, it has the ring of I like Ike at a Republican National Convention.
It makes no difference to me really whether I win this election or not. I want you to believe me, and I'm not talking politics. For 25 years of my life, I fought for the freedom of Nigeria. Nigeria will attain independence on October 1, 1960. So it makes no difference to me whether the Sardauna or Balewa or Chief Awolowo or myself will become the first Prime Minister. So long as Nigeria is free, I'll be satisfied.
Returns are coming in here in spurts, a small batch about every 20 minutes. Dr. Ezekiel, Zeke as they call him, is making pretty good inroads into the western region, more than Awolowo is making in Zeke's eastern region. The North is still the key to this whole affair. It's going to be until the last report is in.